Hi, everybody. It's your old pal Chuck. And I guess we can say this is a surprise review because I wasn't expecting to be able to get a hold of these figures quite so quickly, at least not until the next new year. But taking a look at from the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 animated line, we have Legion Class, Bumblebee, Strong Arm, Optimus Prime, and Steeljaw. And let me just tell you, this is quite an interesting assortment. It's been very long time. I think I forgot an in there, but since we've had Legion figures, and I gotta say, compared to the Prime and Beast Hunters Legion assortments, these guys are really small. I mean, we're going back a bit. I mean, I want to say these are even comparable to the old Legend figures that were released around Cybertron when that smaller scale was reintroduced by Hasbro. Um, the packaging, I gotta say, even the packaging, it's a very odd, different packaging. Um, the figures are supported on little blistered backs. It's just I'm just really surprised. I mean, even Steeljaw has to be one of the smallest figures I've seen in a while. But we're going to take a look at each one individually, and starting us off will be Bumblebee. If you've seen one Bumblebee, you've seen them all. It's a yellow and black color scheme, a new, more animated style head. Robots in Disguise is going to go back to the old, not CGI style, but cell shaded computer style animation that was used in like animated and Cybertron, Energon, Armada. So it has more of those angular curves to it. I don't want to say like an anime look, but something close to that. So for transformation, now apparently they say he can do this in 5 steps. Of course, they kind of screw up the instructions. So step one, as you just saw, peg the legs together. Step two, go ahead and flip up the feet. This will become the front of the car, which is interesting because if you noticed on the feet, there's that little black paint detail, which is equal to the windshield. So I think there's a little trickery going on there. So just make sure those legs are pegged together tight. Next, what you want to do is come in behind here. This little section hooks in to the back. You want to flip that up and forward, this whole chest section up and forward, flipping that panel down and bringing this forward. Now, the instructions show you, and this is a mistake. They tell you to push the head forward. No, what you want to do is go ahead, rotate the head down and around so it's tucked up underneath the vehicle, just like that. You will not have the clearance otherwise to finish transforming the car and having it roll easily. You want to bring that whole chest and head section forward to the front, and then, of course, do the old traditional swivel the arms back on the joints, and they'll peg into the side. And yeah, sometimes it's a little tricky just to get everything lined up. Give it a good squeeze. And here we have Robots in Disguise, Bumblebee in his car mode. Nice little design. They did work a little bit of a swoop into the back where it's raised slightly. I think this will be more pronounced on the Warrior class figures, which is what the deluxe figures will be called in this line. Everything is going to be simplified, and this is going to be more of a kids-oriented line. But Bumblebee rolls, and it's a nice-looking car. It's a little panely. You can see some gaps here and stuff. I mean, everything's lined up properly. It's just, how it's designed. I think the paint detail could be a little more crisp, but that's stuff that you'll have to look at in hand. Not all of this is visible from the packaging. Next up, we're going to take a look at Strong Arm. Strong Arm is one of the new characters introduced in the Robots in Disguise show, although the name has been around in Transformers history for quite a while. the most recent occurrence I can think of was when the first wave of classic figures, there was a black police car named Strongarm. Interesting enough, this is supposed to be a police SUV. I wonder if there's an homage there. I do like the colors, very crisp blue, white, and silver with black for the inner frame. Transformation is supposed to be in 4 steps, so count along with me. And keep in mind, I do skip something out. So first step is you want to go ahead and peg the legs together, just like so. Next step, well, if you haven't already, bring the arms down. Next, and they kind of show this as 1 step, but it's really 2. You need to rotate the shoulders up while at the same time bringing down the arms. And you have to do that all at the same time so it doesn't get caught here on the backpack part, which is the life bar. And go ahead, peg that together while bringing the arms down. And I don't know how this is assembled, but if you notice, this whole section can swivel back and forth, which is a little annoying. Make sure those arms are down, then you can come around and fold down the what were the little wings here, which were the windshields and parts of the door for vehicle mode. Finally, what you want to go ahead and do is fold up the legs, and as always, these are a little tricky. You might have an easier time unpegging them and then swiveling them out without detaching it from the ball joint. And okay. Just bringing it down, repegging the legs, and just getting it all into place. Basically, that's how you want it to look. The paint here on the sides of the white stripe, very helpful. That's the pattern you want to get. Everything's nice and tight. And the SUV truck rolls quite nicely. Interesting that they use 2 shades of blue for the light bar, and that the middle section just blends into the rest of the car, but I guess, with Legion figures, they do have a limited paint budget. Moving on, we're going to take a look at Steeljaw. Steeljaw is the smallest of this Wave 1 of the Legion line. In fact, the legs are actually molded to have the knees bent. This is the figure with the legs fully extended. Right out of the packaging, one thing you're going to want to do is flip back a panel behind the head, because here you have a robotic tail. I'll be honest, this is one of the few times I can remember a vehicle-based Transformer with an animal head and tail in robot mode. That's just surprising. Steeljaw is meant to transform in 4 steps. I do like the color scheme here with the more of a metallic bluish silver color, and as well black for the frame with a few white highlights. So go ahead, peg those legs together, and fold up the feet. Again, the ball joints here make it a little difficult to keep everything secure. Next, what you want to do is just come in, fold this over. I'm going to fold down the tail, bring in the knees and hips a little more to, form the front of the car, and then fold up the arms like so, and just make sure everything is pegged into place. I think I got it. Yep. There we go. And you have this rather futuristic looking armored dune buggy type of deal. Rolls very nicely, and out of the cars, I do believe Steeljaw rolls the nicest. I do want to point out, as you can see here on the side, there is the new Autobot and Decepticon logo. It's actually not a new logo. What's new is the bar around it. That's for that mobile game, which, as of this recording, I don't think has been released yet. I haven't heard any reports about it being out. So, also, the vehicles have little peg holes in the top here, but they didn't come with any weapons. I don't know what that means, but maybe that might be something down the line. Moving on, we're going to take a look at the final figure, Optimus Prime. I have to admit, if you've been following the story for Robots in Disguise, the Autobots are now supposed to be led by Bumblebee. And continuing on from Prime Beast Hunters, Optimus Prime sacrificed himself and is dead. So I was surprised to see a few Optimus Prime figures featured in this line. I mean, we have seen a little bit of animation stills that show Prime, but more of a ghostly apparition. So for all we know, he could be the Jaga to Bumblebee's Lion-O and as a spirit guide in this series. Because let's be honest, the movies, which basically now drive the entire Transformers brand, have solidified Optimus Prime as the leader of the Autobots. This figure is quite interesting. As usual, it has the typical red, blue, and black motif going on here. One thing that is also very nice is you have a little highlights of black with some silver, which, again, are typical Optimus Prime colors, at least now. The vehicle mode, which we're going to get to in a moment, invokes his Cybertron appearance from that cartoon several years ago. Okay, step one, what you want to do is come in down here, peg the legs together. All of these, you really just peg the legs together. Next, what you want to do is grab the head, which is right here, this little blue nub, and flip it all the way around. You may feel a little resistance, but you want to keep pushing all the way until it is tucked up underneath this back section. Next, what you want to do is come in and around and bring these arms up and peg them together, just like so. Next, what you want to do is go ahead, flip the arms up, and then go ahead and bring this whole section down. Again, you'll feel a little resistance in this friction joint, but you do want to bring this down and back, and the arms are actually going to tab into little tabs that were on the front of Optimus Prime's leg. Now, here's the interesting part. This is the cab. You want to bring this down and around all the way until it winds up with the smokestacks. So you actually have this very unique looking cab mode. At first I thought it was mistransformed because how it's sloping down, but nope, this is it. And it's all nice and solid, rolls nicely, but not as nice as Steeljaw. You have more of the black, a little more silver now due to the smokestacks. But this is actually a really cool truck mode, and it's interesting how they were able to combine the cab with the trailer. All right, let me just say right off the bat for my conclusion, I don't know when these figures are supposed to hit retail. I was able to find them off of Amazon.com, where the three-step changers, a couple of the Warrior class figures, and these guys have been in and out in stock. The one-step changers have been showing up as well, but they're only being sold by third-party sellers and thus being sold as a premium. If you can grab them off of there, go ahead. I'm not that impressed by this first wave. I think out of the four, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee are the best, but I do really miss not having weapons. I know the Warrior class, the traditional deluxes will have weapons, but as we saw in Prime, you have those soft rubber modular style weapons that can be combined in different ways, and I would have liked to have seen it here. And as I mentioned, there are holes in the vehicle mode, and the hands are molded to hold weapons. So I really don't know what's going on with that. This is your old pal Chuck for Steeljaw, Strong Arm, Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee. We will see you next time.